Welcome. What is up, good people? It is Paul, and I'm on my main account here, level 65. This is going to be the second video in my series, and it's going to be a store guide. We are going to break down the store completely, talk about the efficient ways to buy things, what to buy, what not to buy maybe, give you some tips and advice that I've learned over the years of playing Marvel Strike Force, as well as what I'm doing on my free-to-play account on day 3 or 4 now, and what I recommend, just giving out all the information and knowledge that I possibly can in this guide. All right. If you haven't already, we're headed for 1,000 subscribers. I think we are close to passing 250 currently. Definitely click that subscribe so you stay up to date when I put out content. It's completely free to do. And smash that thumbs up, okay? It lets me know that you like the content, that you found it useful, informational, you just like the video, period, you want to help support the channel. Smash that thumbs up as well. I'd really greatly appreciate that. Alright, so before we dive into the store and break it all down, my recommendations and opinions, definitely come up here and go to advanced settings, and there's a setting in here usually that says it shows store count on items. So it tells you how many of those items you have in your inventory, so then you can make a better decision whether or not to buy them. It's not showing up for me. I'm almost 2 months in. Maybe they changed it to where it's always active now, or maybe it's just currently staying active for me. I don't know. It's hard saying. But you want this number to show up so you know whether or not to buy things, okay? And it helps you have a better indication where your inventory's at. It's just a phenomenal quality of life they added way back when, right? Alright, so I'm going to break the store down. I'm going to give my opinions on what's of value and what's not. Again, these are just my opinions. You could do anything and everything you want in this game. There is no right or wrong. There's just educated actions and uneducated actions, essentially. So I think that's right. Did that make sense, or was that just me trying to use big words and sounding dumb? I don't know. Comment down below. All right. So what I do in the store every single day is I buy purple and blue gear until I have at least 100 of them. Now, I had 100 of these, but I bought it anyway because I'm really close to just the 100, right? Once you have 100 of a purple or blue gear, I quit buying them. Eventually, it's going to sustain through Raid Store, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I recommend always buying the green gear till you have at least 500 to 1,000. Eventually, you're going to move past the early campaign nodes where you get this gear, and you're no longer going to be getting it from campaign nodes. So the only way to get this for new characters is to buy it through the store or go back and have to waste energy farming it. So just buy it till you have 500 or 1,000, and you can't go wrong. They're really, really dirt cheap, about 1,000 gold, just a little over 1,000 gold each. Now on blue gear, again, once I have 100, it's starting to sustain. As you can see, I'm still investing in characters. I'm struggling on other gear. I quit buying them after 100. Otherwise, I keep buying them always till they're at 100 plus. See here, see here. Same with the purple. Moving forward, these ones are over 100. They're good, and that's kind of what I do with the gears. The gear essentially. Now, eventually, it's going to add in gold and green gear, and I'll break that down in a later video. But definitely buy what you need. But on teal gear and gold gear, you're mainly going to want to buy mini uniques. And I'll explain mini uniques a little more in depth in some of these other stores because there's actually pictures of them. As for the blue and purple ability materials, always buy those starting out, like your first couple months. Eventually, they will sustain themselves and you'll move past it. But early on, you're definitely going to want to buy them. They are of great value and they're hard to get early on. So that is everything for the gold store. I will say on these 450 for 5 shards, I would never do this. If you're a spender, do what you want, but otherwise this is a terrible value for anybody else in the game. It's a terrible value for spenders, but having that extra tool to use at your disposal to spend money, do what you want. You know, I would not do it even on my main account here, which I do spend on. It's just terrible, terrible value. Now I want to talk about the orbs. Never buy these for 450. It is a terrible value again. And as free to play, this currency is very hard to come by. So I would never buy any of these orbs for 450. Now later down the road, you'll be able to buy orbs out of here for like, I don't know where they're at. They're not showing up. But like this orb for like 4,500 or this one for 4,500 or 675 or something like that. You got to make a personal decision. But I would, again, never buy a single orb from here for any amount of power cores. Okay? That's something you got to decide on your account. It's just terrible, terrible value. While we're here, though, why don't we just open these to see if we get a big drop for some premium characters. 40 Loki, Teen Loki, we're almost to 3 stars, all right. Cersei, Icarus, all these are great characters. Wong, I can't wait to unlock this dude. Love him in the movies. I'm going after him. But I would never buy orbs out of here. It's terrible, terrible value. Give us 100 shards of Vol, huh? 6 shards. So we're on our way to 5-star for Vol. I did spend on that character. It's amazing. Vol is an amazing, amazing character. But I would never buy any of these orbs. They're just not of value. Never buy the gold orbs, no matter how much you need gold. Just play the game and get what you can. This is a terrible, terrible value again. As you can see, your gold orbs will stack up if you're not going willy-nilly with gold, right? Again, right here, use your own discretion. But as a free-to-play, I would not buy them, no matter how bad you need them, okay? If you're spending, I have in the past bought like 10 of these just because I spent a little bit of money. So it's like 20 bucks for 10 of these. And I would recommend against that to anybody out there. You can't buy these orbs. So, yeah, I would never buy any of these orbs. And again, in the supply section, I would never buy these character shards for $4.50. It's just too hard to get power cores. Now, here for the Blitz store, do what you want to do, but I would never buy the gear out of here. And I wouldn't buy these two till late game. You could focus farm any character as much as you want, and it's not going to break your account. But I only recommend unlocking Shang-Chi at 45 shards, so I'd buy him here every day when starting the game. And then I would switch strictly to orbs. Only open these orbs because they're way cheaper. They're only $3.50 instead of $9.75 or $500. So you're saving credits to open multiple orbs. As well as in these orbs, you're getting gold. And it's on both sides, so you're actually getting between 3,000 and 6,000 gold every orb you open, which is really going to help you with that gold crunch. Believe me, you want every piece of gold you can get in this game, you want, as well as your 5 shards in the middle. That's huge. Now, this is another way that we're going to sustain gear other than buying it from the store, and eventually this will sustain it permanently, in my honest opinion. You can come in here and pick out which pieces of gear. So here lately, I've been needing these glyphs like no tomorrow, right? And these purple things, this bags of magical powder stuff. So I've been opening all these right here, and it's actually helping me sustain a little bit and climb back up towards 100. But early on, you're going to have a bad gear crunch. It's just something you're going to have to play through and do your best to manage. But eventually, this will help sustain it. All right, the raid store here. I recommend buying Icarus and Cersei. If you watch my beginner's guide, it explains all that and why. But Icarus is one of the best characters in the game, period. And when paired with Cersei, they are the best pair maybe in the entire game. They're quite phenomenal. They're going to help you beat all the content, help carry you through the game. So you're going to want to buy Icarus every time you see him right here. And Baron Zemo as well, because at level 70, you'll need Baron Zemo to move through Villains Chapter 7 to push forward into Nexus 8 and do more campaign, where some of the best characters in the game are that you can farm. So I would recommend buying Baron Zemo and Icarus out of the store. Once they're unlocked at 100 shards, absolutely always open these orbs. And the only reason I say that is because for 900 credits, you actually get 9 character shards. 2 on that side, 2 on this side, and 5 in the middle. So it's 100 credits per character shard. So you're going to build your characters a lot faster, a lot cheaper. Whereas right here, you're only getting 5 shards for 1,400, which is roughly 270 credits per character shard, as opposed to 100 credits when you buy them out of the orbs. So that's my recommendations for the raid store in the raid orbs. I will say, as for gear, do what you got to do. But early on to mid-game, this just ain't worth it. And the only thing you should be buying out of here, if anything, in my opinion, is mini uniques. And mini uniques are specific, like, this is for bio, I do believe. Oh, maybe it's like a mixture. I don't, well, how do I explain what it's for? Because he's bio, she's skill. It's specific to certain traits. And I don't know how to explain that in depth. But like this one's for a totally different set of characters. And certain characters are going to take different ones of these. So you could absolutely justify buying some of these from the store. I would just recommend staying away from gear early on out of here, because you'll eventually lean on this and start using it as a crutch. And you ain't going to have no credits to buy characters or the orbs to expand your roster. So I would stick strictly to character shards early on. That's another mini unique. As you can see, I need it for all my best characters. And I'm still not going to buy it out of here. It's just not, you know what I mean? It's not worth it. All these are mini uniques. My bad. You can buy every dang mini unique in the game, it looks like. That, all these, all those, these two, they're all mini uniques. And later on, that's something you could do, but I wouldn't even mess with it. Eventually, you'll sustain and you'll be all right. So, in the raid orbs here, this will actually help you sustain as well. Boom, blue gear. You get tons of these every single day. Especially once you're raiding, you'll get between, like, I want to say 5 and 15 of these. It depends on what raids you're doing, as well as other things in the games as well. That'll help you with your blue gear crunch. Obviously, these are going to help tons and tons with your purple gear crunch and your yellow gear crunch, and it just keeps moving through mini uniques, especially teal gear, teal mini uniques, right here. Boom, 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 boom. And then you get some character shards that are actually going to help you as well. Just bolster your account and such. I believe it's 8 shards to 24 shards per drop. I think there is a small chance of still getting 5 shards, but it's usually either 8 shards or 24, in my personal opinion. And that's really the raid orbs, essentially. Again, Icarus, Zemo, and then open orbs, in my personal opinion, until you fill out your roster and you feel more comfortable with the game. And then absolutely just kind of do whatever you'd like to do. Now, for the arena store, you only get a limited amount of these credits. And if you're in the top 250, I think you get 550 arena credits. Plus, you get 250 from your daily objective, right? Doing 2 arena fights. So that's about, I think that's like almost 800 arena credits a day you get to spend in here if you're in the top 250. So you want to spend these very, very wisely. Usually I don't like to spend 975 on a character, but they give us Spider-Punk in a welcome calendar. You need Ghost Spider for the Web Warriors to have the whole team, and they are the best answer for any Spider-Verse requirement for any node on a campaign moving forward. So they're a great raid team, great Doom War team, or a great Dark Dimension team. They're great everywhere you can use them. Not so great in PvP, but they get it done. You know, it's just a team to plug in. Otherwise, they are great everywhere, and they're a big part of my beginner's farming guide. So if you're following along with that, you're definitely going to start by unlocking Ghost Spider here for 975. Another recommendation I got here is Red Guardian for Skill Military. Great character. He was the second tank in the game to have a pre-fight taunt. So he starts off with taunt, and they have to focus him. He's really beefy, really amazing character, and he's for a flash event to get training modules. So I'd recommend him second, and then M'Baku. And you can see I'm alternating between M'Baku and Red Guardian. I've unlocked my Ghost Spider, and now I'm just alternating back and forth. He's used for Chaos Theory, as well as he's used in Gamma Raids, as well as he's used in a lot of requirements for Doom War campaigns. Okay, moving through those campaigns require certain characters like Mystics, Wakandans, stuff like that, and he meets a lot of those requirements. He's an all-around great character in the game. I highly recommend those 3, and in that order. I would unlock Ghost Spider, then I'd unlock Red Guardian, then I'd unlock M'Baku, and then I just bounce back and forth. Red Guardian's already at 4, so I'm working on M'Baku going up to 4. You know what I mean? And then anybody else you want in here, more than happily go after, but you're really going to be tight for your first, I don't know, for a long time.
No way. Yeah.
Really long time. So you're going to want to spend those credits very, very wisely. Now, obviously, if you have M'Baku caught up with the Wakandans and Red Guardian at same stars as the Wakandans, you could farm somebody completely different. And they try to trap you here because Swarm is top 5 or top 10 in damage currently. Amazing character. Dagger's amazing, Strange is amazing, but you'll get them other ways. I would recommend those 3 that I said. Do what you got to do, though. I've never buy these until your end game, and you just have tons of arena credits. So it won't be for a very, very long time. Years, essentially. And I wouldn't buy these either, because a lot of people buy them for the shards of a premium character or training modules. And early on, like I said, you just don't have enough arena credits. It's a bad value, in my opinion. I would not recommend that. Alright, the War Store. And as you can see, I've already bought Nakia. This is the only way to farm her. And she's the second, she has the second highest damage in the game. She is a phenomenal, phenomenal character. And she's used for Chaos Theory. So she's a Wakandan. We need her. We're building her. That's the only way to get her. I'd recommend farming her and Scarlet Spider, because he is my 5th Web Warrior, your 5th Web Warrior. Scarlet Spider is an amazing, amazing character. As well as he's going to be used, like I said, again, for campaign unlocks and stuff. You're going to want him, I promise you. Now, there are other amazing characters in here, and as you have enough war credits, you could buy them. But you're going to unlock them through orbs and other ways, events, blitzes, all that good stuff. But absolutely, use your own discretion. I would just recommend focusing Nakia and Scarlet Spider until you have about 15 to 20,000 war credits, and then you can buy other people, okay? If you have over 15,000 war credits, you're going to be able to buy Nakia and Scarlet Spider as necessary when they pop up, and you'll be able to also get some other things. Now, as for the gear, again, use your own discretion, but I would not recommend spending your war credits on these. There's just too many vital characters starting out in the game, right? You want character shards. But do what you got to do. I would not buy gear out of here personally, unless it's a mini unique that's purple or gold and you absolutely need it right this second, then maybe. Otherwise, I would not. As for these orbs, open the orb you need. Currently, I'm struggling on blue gear and purple gear. There's nothing wrong with opening blue orbs, okay? If you're going to have enough of these orbs, you're going to be all right. What you're doing is setting your account back by not using them. What you could do to get ahead, though, is absolutely buy these gold ones every single time, and that way when you get to G13, you have the gear you need. But quite honestly, they're giving us enough of this gold gear right now through raid orbs, through raids, through events. They're flooding us with gold gear. It's almost as common as purple, if not more common in my opinion. And I wouldn't say that you absolutely need to focus this only. So if you need a piece of gear, a blue or purple, open the orb you need. It's completely fine. As well as you get a ton of mini uniques out of these purple and these gold ones. So do what you want to do. There's no right or wrong here. There's going to be people that tell you only open these, and I guess they could be right, but you got to do what you got to do. I don't know. In my opinion, do what you got to do here. You would not be wrong. All right, Cosmic Crucible store. We're moving right down the line. There's a lot of stores nowadays, and that's awesome because it didn't used to be like this, right? The one I'm buying currently, because they give me Spider-Man 2099. He's doing what I need him to do at 4 red and 4 yellow. I could focus him, get him to 6 yellow and 6 red, but I don't need to, right? I'd rather get a Darkhold character. I believe this is a Darkhold character. Or Death Seed, or I think it's Darkhold. Anyway, Agatha Harkness is who I'm focusing, just to get her unlocked. And that way I can work on my Apocalypse later down the road, as well as it gives me another Blitz team, as well as she's an amazing character. Now, I was buying Black Panther, but he's so far ahead of Okoye and Nakia, there's no reason to buy him out of here. Honestly, if he was way behind everybody else, then you could, but you can farm him from a node, as well as out of here if you ever needed to. I just wouldn't recommend it. Again, I was buying Lady Deathstrike. I got to her node in game. I'm just farming her on her node, okay, as I can. It's not essential to get her early on, so I'm not pushing it. There are some other characters that pop up in here, like Abomination and stuff. I'd recommend them over some of these other choices. Just building out your roster, essentially. And it's totally up to you. This is one of them stores. I recommend you use this currency however you like, because it's a very limited currency. These are 600 a piece, and you only get so many every week, essentially. So just bear that in mind. Down here, again, I'm only buying mini uniques as I need them for my characters with these silver things, or this silver currency, because you get quite a bit of it. It comes in spurts, but I wouldn't, you know what I mean? I wouldn't worry too much about what you're spending on here. Buy what you need. I'm buying these glyphs, and I'm still struggling to sustain, just because look at all these amazing, amazing mystics, cosmics, and I'm not even investing in all these ones down here yet. I mean, look at this. You need a ton of those bad boys, right? So, do what you got to do on the gear. You'll get plenty. I think you'll get more than enough with this silver currency to be able to buy some gear out of here and be all right. Essentially, that's all it's used for anyway, is gear, right? But as for the characters, I would stick with the top row and get some premium characters this way, right? As for the orb, let's see what the orb actually drops. If it's just gear, which I believe it is, I would never open it. Yeah, we're not opening this orb. It's just gear. It has a lot of mini uniques in here, but no. This currency is so hard to come by, this gold currency, that you need to be focusing some of them premium characters, in my personal opinion. Comment down below what you think, but I don't think this orb is of good value until you have all these characters 7-starred, and then maybe, you know what I mean? But starting out, definitely just focus the characters you got. We do have the Red Star Promotion Center here. I don't know what you want to call it. The Elite Store is what it's called, I guess. But I try not to buy the 1-stars and stuff unless it's like in my arena or my raid team. Just because you're going to get them unlocked from Red Star Orbs right here. And as you can see, I've got 80 of these. And usually what happens is I'll buy Hulk for 1 star, and then I'll open an orb and it'll be a 3 or a 4-star of Red Hulk. So I just wasted 1 silver promo. Not to mention I'm not using him anywhere in my teams currently, so I don't want it. But definitely buy characters that you're going to need for your arena team and or your raid team. So like your Spider-Verse, your Web Warriors. I would buy characters you're using on a daily basis, is what I'm trying to say. Obviously, this goes up and knows what your roster has, and it only offers you the next upgrade. So if you have a 2-star Emma Frost, it's now going to offer you the 3-star. It will never offer you a 1-star. So bear that in mind. This is telling me I have a 2-star Emma Frost, and it costs 10 to go up to 3. Again, if I bought that right there, and then I get a 4 or 5-star out of a Red Star Orb, I just wasted 10 silver promos. And they are very hard to come by. So unless it's on an arena character or a raid character for one of your raid teams, or your Dark Dimension team, you know, obviously, I would never spend in here. Okay? That's just my personal opinions. And again, on these dark promos, use your own discretion. There's a lot of great characters in here. And I don't know the order of priority, but I'm going to buy the ones that are going to help my account. So if I have a high star Rogue or a high star Morgan Le Fay, I'm going to focus them with dark promos, especially if I'm using them in tons of game modes, right? That's just how I'm going to do it. Teach their own. Do your best judgment on these. Now for these orbs, always keep these and red star orbs until there's a premium new character like Teen Loki or Vol was in here recently. The next one will probably be Beta Ray Bill. Will be sponsored. And when you come in here, it's actually going to give you an increased chance at that premium character. I think it's like a 15% chance that you pull that premium character. And that's what I save these orbs for. So I get a 4-star on them. I never have to worry again except promoting them up, right? And for characters I really like, that's when I pull these orbs. Boom, boom. And obviously I would save this till it's just the most amazing character ever, in my personal opinion. And that's how I do the orbs. Same with this red star orbs. That's why I have so many. It's because I'm waiting for either a dark promotion credit where it's like 10 times this or something, times 10 as it says right here. I could open them then, or I wait for a new character, a premium character essentially. It's mostly what I've been doing. Dark promotion credits aren't that big of a thing to me right now. Eventually they will be. Now for the ISO store, just open your orbs. Don't buy them. I would never buy these orbs ever, especially free to play. It's not of value at all. And here, as long as I have over 1 million of these credits, I buy whatever I want. And here for a long time, I've been buying every single one of these. Today I only bought this one because I only had 19. So I usually like to keep at least 27 of each of these because that's a 3-star ISO on a character, right? So you want to make sure you have at least 27. And early on, you're going to be equipping a lot of these because you're going to have like at least 5 different teams you're equipping for the challenges. So buy these as you need them. Use your own discretion. Like I said, I usually go on the 1 million mark. I was at like 2.3 million, so I was buying every single one of these every day. And you can see it's ate through a lot of my currency. That's just my personal tip starting out. As you move forward, there will be blue ones in here. And absolutely, again, if you're over 1 million or 2 or 3 million of this currency, go ahead and buy those. Because it's going to be a bottleneck and you're going to want them, I promise you. And that's all there's really to say about the ISO store, honestly. This is the Ultimate store, so once you get a character to 7 stars, this will open up. And every shard you get on that character from then on turns into Ultimus food. And it gives you Ultimus credits or something that you spend on an Ultimus orb to unlock Ultimus. Now, the Ultimus orb also drops character shards for other characters, which will help you 7-star them, in turn turning it into Ultimus food, right? A lot of times you'll open these orbs in the Ultimate store, and it'll be characters you have 7-starred eventually, and it'll just be Ultimus food, right? They're just taking your currency away. So that'll open up eventually once you have a 7-star character. It's a really basic store. I wouldn't recommend ever buying gear and stuff out of there. As I remember, it was pretty awful pricing and such. But use your own discretion and your best judgment, right? Now, this is probably my favorite store in the whole game because it's cosmetics. And I love to be unique and have multiple different cosmetics. I think it's cool to show off your account. It also says that, hey, I'm dedicated and I've earned these things. They're like trophies, essentially. And who doesn't like trophies and limited time things saying, hey, I was here for this. Hey, I was here for that. Just like the frames around your head on the main screen. This store is phenomenal. The only problem I got is I want the original Storm costume, which is black, or is white with black trim and yellow, I believe. This is all black with the yellow trim. If you ever seen the original show, it's got like the white, what are they called? They're like tassels or something that hang off her arms, you know, like cloth strips, and it just looks really, really awesome, right? That's the Storm I grew up with as a kid, and the nostalgia of it would be phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, I like Halle Berry, and I love this, absolutely. I just want the original costume as well. So just buy what you want. Absolutely. Never buy something someone tells you out of here. Only pick the characters that you love. One recommendation I could say is buy a character that is your favorite or you're going to use a lot, because you're more inclined to use your favorite forever, no matter where they're good at. But say like I got, how do I even say this? Polaris. I got Polaris' skin, right? and let's say I quit using her in game modes because I got better characters that came out, which they're going to do, so you're not going to use her as much. That skin ain't going to get shown off very often, right? It's more just for collection purposes. So absolutely always pick your favorite characters first. Buy what you want in here. That's what I'm going to do. All right. And that is the store, everybody. If there's anything I forgot, the Marvel Strike Force community out there, people that are watching this video, please add it down below. So that way they can get that information as well and make a decision on their own. I'd really appreciate that, as well as comment down below what you thought about this. If there's anything that you want to know more about, feel free to ask questions down below or join my Discord that's linked in the description of this video. There's a ton of people over there willing to help you with any questions you have, including myself. I'm more than happy to answer questions as I see them on Discord. Otherwise, much love and stay healthy. We'll catch y'all in the next one.